How goes it, everybody? Today, we're going to be talking about a couple things in regards to Classic Plus. Now, I know a lot of people, they probably are saying, well, Classic Plus is not out yet. Classic Plus is nowhere near close. Classic Plus this, Classic Plus that. Well, I'm going to talk today about what I would like to see in Classic Plus, and I'd like to also talk about what I hope does not happen in Classic Plus. Now, with that being said, we're going to start off with the most logical thing. What do we all want in Classic Plus? What do we as the player base want? Not just what I want, but what the player base wants. Due to consensuses and a lot of people making posts about this for over a year plus now that I've seen, and people have been talking about this for a long time, even as Classic 2019 started, the reality is simple. We all want a Classic Plus that's going to be the old world with more features using the old world, new raids, that type of thing, and content that actually gives us gear upgrades but doesn't just make the old gear completely irrelevant. Obviously, as you know, like TBC and Classic that we're in right now, we're in Classic TBC Anniversary. We obviously have pieces of gear that come out of Classic that go into TBC on launch, like Mind Quickening Gem and stuff like that people use, like Skull Flame Shield to farm and all that type of shit. But what I'm more or less getting at is we want to see gear that obviously we can utilize and not only keep it longer, but also be able to get more gear that doesn't just replace the old gear completely immediately. But there's optimal arguments where you could change your spec to a way that you could still use that new gear for other things that people might be interested in. So, like, you might be able to get a piece of gear that could work both as PvP and PvE content without having to just get one or the other. Alternatively, you could have different types of gear situations where, like, your gear could be upgraded. Like, go to the new raid, and you could upgrade that gear instead of, like, getting rid of it. Again, these are just speculative ideas that I've seen throughout the community throughout a long time. But I'd like to start off with the things that I personally would like to go over in regards to what I'd like to see out of Classic Plus. So Classic Plus, to me, when I look at the game and where we are now, we have this beautiful Eastern Kingdoms, the default world of the game, right? We're like, oh, we love Eastern Kingdoms, it's great. We love everything about it. And then we go over to Kalimdor, we're like, oh, we love this too. And then, obviously, we're in Burning Crusade, so we have Outland, but I won't include it for today. I won't include Outland in this conversation. But let's just say that Classic Plus is only the old world. What if they gave us new zones within the zones? What if they gave us new raids within certain other areas? Like, let's say that you go into Uldaman and let's say a wall falls down and there's a fucking hidden secret area you can go to. That'd be pretty goddamn cool, at least if you ask me. Now, obviously, again, I'm not trying to go into the nit and grit of, like, each perfect instance of what we'd like, but I'd love to see some new dungeons in the old world. I'd love to see some of the stuff that they were going to put in the game and bring it back, stuff that they scrapped on launch. Like, give us the opportunity to see what we're interested in. Don't just say to us, oh, well, you already got the product that's finished from the original days. No, we want to see it all. Because that's the whole experience of Classic Plus. We want to see what the intention for the original Classic was that they never got to finish. Alternatively, I would also like to see something involving player housing. Now, I know that player housing is a retail thing, but let me hit you guys with the logic here. For people that play with guilds, like myself, I run a guild, I would love to see a guild home system. Not a fucking neighborhood like retail. Not a player house like retail. I'm talking about a location that could be taken as a guild, developed as a guild, and make it look like an actual guild base. We're talking guild bank would be at that location. We're talking, the mailbox, basic things. Nothing enough that would clear out the open world. And we're talking about something that would be community focused. Like if you kill a raid boss, you have a trophy, like the Head of Onyxia, for example. Stuff like that. Like public trophies and achievements like Wrath, for example, that'd be awesome too. I'd love to see that be implemented. But the whole thing is, for me, is that I want to see this game go back to the way it was in the sense of the achievement status for the game and what it means to kind of be as a guild and also to play the game, the classic experience, the enjoyable side of this game that we all want to see. Now you're probably going to ask yourself, well, where do we draw the line? Well, I don't want it to be like Garrisons. Fuck that. We do not want WoD, okay? I'm sorry. But like we don't want to have the Garrison system. We don't want that in Classic Plus. I would love to see just some sort of system like Kata implemented. Again, similar, not the entirety of it. Like, reward guilds for doing guild work together. have punishments for people, for example, which should be a thing, not currently, to punish people who just jump guilds and run away after they get gear, you know. Offer incentives to people for actually working together and not just running away when they have a hiccup. Alternatively, you could also have, like I said, these guild bases where you could have community objectives and you could have billboards with like different tasks for people to want to do to help out their guild. Again, a rough kata system, but not kata in the sense of, like, we don't want it to be just gold. We don't want it to just be like that. We want it to actually have meaning behind it. In regards to other comparisons of Classic Plus, I would rather Classic Plus not have any easy gathering type of moneymaker like dailies. I don't want to see dailies like that. And the reason I say that is because that's for lazy people. I'm sorry, but let's be honest here. There's people who log in, they just do their dailies, they log out, they go to their next tune, they do it again. I do not want to see what SOD did, where they give people, I think it's excursions or whatever the fuck. Point is, I hated those. Incursions, that's it. The incursions system was awful. I remember when they first implemented it, they killed so many markets because people were going in there and making thousands of gold for no effort. Now, granted, you could blame Blizzard. Like I blame Blizzard for that. But my perspective here is that when you take, for instance, where we are now as the game community, is we have less time, and I don't want this game to become retail. I want to stress that first. I really do not want this game to be retail. I do not want this game to be easier. I don't want this game to be post-nerf like people are doing in TBC right now. I would love to have pre-nerf. I'd love to have hard content to clear. That's more enjoyable to me. I know that even with a time schedule that could be limited, I also believe that people should be wanting to compete to clear the content. I don't really give a shit about parsing. I don't care about that type of mentality. But for Classic Plus, let's be honest here, guys, we want content that feels exciting, new, fresh, and not repetitive gameplay. Sure, everybody knows that Classic is a solved game. TBC is a solved version of the game. Like, you can even argue the hardcore server is a solved version of the game, and the remastery of Pandaria and all that, and so on. They're all solved games. The number one thing I would like is I want to see the game thrive for its most important qualities. The raids should not be perfect. The loot should not be perfect. The drama should exist in the game to a degree. There should be guild cohesion. There should be players who can pug and who can not pug. Like, have all these normal things that Classic has that is a part of the community. Make social interaction a big part of it. Professions is a big deal for me as well. I'd love to see the profession system get overhauled even more. Make cooperative profession work. Like, for instance, retail, obviously they added the whole logging system for the housing and making furniture. I think that was stupid. They should have just made a logging system to go along with blacksmithing and make it a secondary profession so that people can craft weapons by crafting certain type of hilts. Again, that'd be interesting. It would add another mechanic to another profession. Now, again, I'm not saying that this is something that should be added to Classic Plus. I'm just speculating the ideas here. When I look at Classic Plus and I think to myself what Blizzard will do, they're going to monetize the shit out of it. They're going to add the WoW token. They're going to do things like that we don't want in the game. We don't want bots. We don't want gold buyers. We don't want gold sellers. All those things, obviously, we don't want. And I'm not going to talk about GDKP in this video, but I personally don't like GDKP, and that's because of the people who go around and buy gold and everything else that ruin that type of experience. I think GDKP on its own with no people that are doing that is fine, because then it's all people legitimately farming gold and then using their legitimate gold to get against other people, but I digress. Other than that, when it comes down to my fear for Classic Plus and what I would not like to have happen and what I'm hoping does not happen, besides, of course, the WoW token and all that being in there, I do not want that. I do not want Classic Plus to be something like SOD, where SOD basically took certain items that were not important in Classic and then said, yeah, they're important now. For instance, fish oil and all that type of stuff, shadow gems and all that in the beginning of the SOD were very important. Same with iridescent pearls. Like, I don't want that. I would like new items in the game. I would love new cosmetics. Make it so that we're inspired to want to go and do things. Make it so that new items can drop and that we're like, oh my god, what is this used for? Like, SOD did a really cool idea where they made some of the spells hidden in the world, and that was pretty dope. I loved that. That was pretty interesting. But the thing that pissed me off mentality-wise is I do not want it to be completely luck-based. I don't want it to be completely skill-based. I want it right in the middle, and that's why I like Classic, because Classic, to me, inspires me to want to work hard at alts and wants to work hard at, like, what I'm doing, while at the same time, the level cap isn't being pushed up. Sure, I like leveling, and sure, I like getting more talent points, but instead of adding a new level-up system, like where they say, hey guys, at the end of the expansion, we level up to the next level. How about instead of that, Blizzard, we take the logic of that and we say, okay, new phase is coming out. How about we reward the players with another talent point and they have to do the new raid to unlock it? Something that would be interesting yet game-breakingly interesting. And I know that's a rough, stupid idea, but imagine if, like, for example, as like a mage, for example, like let's say that I was able to get an extra point into Arcane. Again, like an extra talent point in general is crazy cool. It is crazy interesting. It is something different. Or alternatively, maybe each individual class has a third talent tree. Make it something different. New classes, new races, the whole thing. That'd be awesome. And I'm all for it. But the last thing I want is this game to turn into retail. I'm sorry, Blizzard, but you didn't do good with retail. I don't have any problem with people who like retail, but I personally think that retail is just not my thing, and it's not a lot of people's thing. And I've been playing this game for 20 years. So I know that's the age-old joke of, oh, well, classic players will tell you they've played for 20 years. Whatever. The point is, I have a lot of respect for the OG way this game is played. I love the community. I really do think it's a great thing that we have this type of experience to look forward to. Classic Plus is pretty much going to happen. We just don't know when. Most likely Classic Plus is going to come out after Wrath anniversary, and the reason I say that is because if they put it out before that, they're going to kill any sort of hype for Wrath, you know? And if they put it out after, then it makes more sense because they'll get more money from their subscriptions when they have people signing up just to play Wrath again, just like they did for TBC. So, I know this video's kind of went on a long time so far, but I do want to address one final point as well. In the comments below, I would like to see what you guys would like in Classic Plus. You could be very brief, you could make a sentence, a paragraph, whatever. I'd love to hear what you guys would like to see in the new version of Classic. I'd love to see what people are interested in. I have heard a lot of different perspectives, but I am someone who likes to get feedback from others. So if you could do me a favor and just let me know what you would like to see in Classic Plus, that would be extravagant for me, because then I get to see kind of what your guys' thoughts are, what maybe something in your mind might be interesting to throw out there into the world, and maybe someone hasn't thought of it yet. With that being said, let's take a moment to think about all those things, and let's compile our answers, and let's see if we can come up with something that no one has ever come up with for Classic Plus that maybe a lot of people are interested in. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. Sorry for the delay on the upload for this video. Like I said, I've been dealing with a lot of stuff lately, but I will take care of everything and post another video soon. I don't like to do editing, like I said, or anything like that, but I'll see what I can do to improve quality for you guys in the near future. All right, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.